Honorable members, we are now in the Committee of Supply to consider the estimates of recurrent and development expenditure for the year ending 30th June 2025. I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 5,132,190,119 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1011, the Executive Office of the President. I propose the question that the programs under vote 1011 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. There are no amendments. I will therefore put the question that programs under the vote 1011 as read out and the sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 5,132,190,119 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect to vote 1011, the Executive Office of the President. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1012, Office of the Deputy President.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 4,896,000,000 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1012, Office of the Deputy President.
Program under the vote, Deputy President Services.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1012, Office of the Deputy President, and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. No amendment. I put the question that the program under the vote 1012 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 4,896,000,000 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1012, Office of the Deputy President. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1013, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary.
I propose the question that the sum not exceeding 1,140,788,324 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1013, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. I propose the question that the program under the vote 1013, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. Kindly, honorable members, if you're intending to speak on any of these issues, put the intervention. Honorable Mayaka, are you speaking on this? Okay. Honorable Oundo.
Chair, as I will support, probably it's a point that we need to note that this particular vote is only recurrent expenditure and does not produce anything that can enhance economic development in this country. Probably going in future, we need to allocate them something to do that can engage people instead of just drawing salaries for doing nothing. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, I put the question that the program under the vote 1013 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 1,140,788,324 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the current and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect to vote 1013, office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1014, State Department for Parliamentary Affairs.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 458,283,000 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1014, State Department for Parliamentary Affairs.
Programs under the vote, Parliamentary Liaison and Legislative Affairs, Policy Coordination and Strategy, and General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1014 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question that the programs under vote 1014 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question, there are some not exceeding 458,283,000 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1014, State Department for Parliamentary Affairs. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1015, State Department for Performance and Delivery Management.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 597,112,861 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1015, the State Department for Performance and Delivery Management.
Programs under the vote, Public Service, Performance Management and Delivery Services, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Service Delivery Management, and Coordination and Supervision of Government Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1015 as read out and sums allocated in the be approved. Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. While we approve this, I think it will be important as we go forward to always understand when we talk of service delivery, it's good for them to bring us a report in this House so that we know even the services the President has promised and everything. Do we still have people who are outside there monitoring and ensuring so that even in the next budget, we ensure there are measures to know things were done? Because when you just say service delivery, what service delivery, Madam Chair?
Thank you. I put the question that the programs under vote 1015 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 597,112,861 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1015, the State Department for Performance and Delivery Management. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1016, State Department for Cabinet Affairs.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 275,136,014 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1016, the State Department for Cabinet Affairs.
Program under the vote, Cabinet Affairs Services.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1016 be as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question that the program under vote 1016 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 275,136,014 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1016, the State Department for Cabinet Affairs. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1017, State House.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 9,496,000,000 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1017, State House.
Program under the vote, State House Affairs.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1017 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Oundo.
Chair, being a substantial amount close to 9.5 billion, is it possible, as we always do, for a sense of accountability to see value for money for this expenditure? We know they require money to move, but let's hope the money is not spent outside the country. A bit of it spent here in Kenya so the circulation money can be filled. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 9,496,000,000 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1017, State House. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1023. Vote 1023, State Department for Correctional Services.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 35,550,346,616 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1023, State Department for Correctional Services.
Programs under the vote, 1, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, 2, Prison Services, 3, Provision and Aftercare Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1023 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Member for Embakasi West, Honorable Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank and congratulate the Budget Committee on this specific vote, especially on probation and aftercare. Honorable Chair, if these funds, then you can ensure the relevant departmental committee ensures these funds actually are used to rehabilitate those people who are released from prison, because most of them just end up falling back into the same crimes. But if these funds were utilized well, it can really change the lives of those ex-prisoners. So I want to support this specific vote. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Oundo.
Chair, I hope the chairman, in respect of this committee, in respect of these departments in the House, because it would seem we have a serious crisis in the correctional services of dilapidated prisons, lack of vehicles to transport prisoners to courts, and generally the poor state of the postal services. I hope the 7 million that are placed here will go a long way to do a bit of repairs and maintenance so that we let our prisoners live in dignity in line of the work that had been started by Uncle Moody. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
I therefore put the question that the programs under vote 1023 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. There being no amendments, I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 35,550,346,616 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1023, the State Department for Correctional Services. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1024, State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 14,959,813,872 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1024.
Programs under the vote: 1. Migration and Citizen Services Management. 2. Population Management Services. 3. General Administration and Planning.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1023 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
I said if you're intending to speak on this, put your intervention.
Honorable Chair,
Honorable Makali, go on.
Even as I agree with this allocation to the Department of Migration and Citizen Services, Honorable Chair, the issue of passports and IDs is an issue of national interest. I hope that the department will act very fast to ensure that our people get passports and get IDs. So that is important, Honorable Chair, but I support.
Member for Mombasa, Honorable Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, na mimi hata kama naunga mkono wao kuongezea mapeni haya, lakini pia na wasiwasi Mheshimiwa Chair, watoto wetu wanahangaika sana kupata pasipoti hasa ndani ya Mombasa County. Na pasipoti nyingi walizo apply bado hazijafika paka sasa. Kwa hiyo mimi naomba Department ya Immigration wahakikishe kuwa huduma kwa Wakenya inakuja kwa ukamilifu na kwa wakati. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Chair.
Honorable Nchoke from Bonchari.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Whereas I support the proposal, we hope that this is going to be adequate so that we are going to have more efficient services from this department. In the past, there's been inordinate delays in printing and supplying passports to the applicants. And this department contributes quite a bit of money to the exchequer through appropriations in aid. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Elachi.
Chair, while I appreciate, I just need to tell the department that there's one thing they have to look at, and this is the issues of work permits for many people who are now crying a lot of delays in their work permits and really being penalized and also being followed, especially in their companies. So I'll really plead with the department that it is time now. Let us just do things efficiently. You've bring in reforms, yes, but let those reforms now be felt with everyone. Thank you, Chair.
Member for Kimilili, are you speaking on this?
Yes, Madam Chair, I really want to support this very good thing. It's very progressive. It's going to bring value, and Kenyans will be happy about it. I support Madam Chair.
Honorable Anthony Kibagendi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While we appreciate the amount that has been allocated to this State Department, I would like to join fellow honorable members in asking the department to improve on their efficiency in printing of passports and, of course, identity cards and work permits for people who are willing to work in Kenya. This is a department that also helps in raising revenue for government, and hence they need to improve on their efficiency. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Member for Funyula, are you on this? Member for, you've already spoken, Honorable Elachi. Okay, I therefore propose the question that the programs under the vote 1024 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 14,959,813,872 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1025, National Police Service.
I propose a question that a sum not exceeding 110,552,072,775 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1025, National Police Service.
Program under the vote, Policing Services.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1025 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Member for Sigowet Soin, Honorable Justice Kemei.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wish to support and mention that the amount is necessary to equip our police force and to give them the necessary skills to fight crime, including today's crime, Madam Speaker, the cyber crime. Thank you, and I support.
Honorable Member for Kabondo Kasipul, Honorable Ivo Bara. Which one? Next one? Next one, Honorable Eve.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm happy that money has been appropriated at 110 billion, but we must ensure, Madam Chair, that this money gets down to the sub-counties, because there's a serious problem of services not being offered because of lack of resources. They don't have furnitures, they don't have proper vehicles, and the committee in charge should ensure that this happens at the committee level, that money goes down to the constituencies and sub-county. Thank you.
Before I give the next speaker, allow me to recognize students seated in the public gallery. We have Lokusero Secondary School from Laikipia North constituency, Laikipia County. We have Uhuru Secondary School from Embakasi West, Nairobi County. We have Kalalu Girls Secondary School from Laikipia East constituency, Laikipia County. And in the speakers gallery, we have Pioneer Girls High School from Gatanga constituency in Murang'a. On my own behalf and that of the House, I welcome them to observe the proceedings of the House. I will indulge one parent of a student in the speakers gallery, Honorable Opio Wandai, to welcome them all together.
Madam Chair, let me join you in welcoming the students from the various schools who are seated in both the public gallery and in the speakers gallery. I want to extend a special welcome to the students from Pioneer Girls High School, where I'm a parent. And I want to encourage the girls from that particular school to work hard and emulate, Madam Chair, your own achievements, and to recognize that there's only hard work that can make them succeed in life and occupy positions of influence such as that which you are occupying, Madam Chair. With all those very many remarks, Madam Chair, I say thank you, and let's proceed. Thank you.
Member for Embakasi West. Okay, you don't have to really raise up and raise your hand at the same time. Honorable Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies. I was worried.
Take a minute.
You were not seeing me. Kindly let me recognize and thank you for allowing Uhuru Secondary School to come, which comes from Embakasi West. Chair, just last week I opened a twin lab in that school, and that's one of the schools that is being affected by electricity. And I want to thank the chair of the budget. The money that you're appropriating for electricity is affecting that school. We need to relocate some of the power lines, and I thank you for that. And I welcome them to see where we get funds so that we can do the work back in their school. Thank you, Chair.
That is enough for the students. Kindly welcome to the House. We are back to vote 1025, the National Police Service. Honorable Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair, I want to support this allocation, withdrawal from the consolidated fund to the police, and want to hope that the National Police Service, now that the Inspector General is an accounting officer, they'll be able to look into the affairs of the police officers, especially issues of housing. And more in particular, my station in Endebess Police Station, which is, despite the fact I'm using CDF to put up some support structures for them, but I expect that the Inspector General of Police will be able to provide them a vehicle for Kimondo Police Station, and also make sure that at least they are able to do for them some infrastructure. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Muthoni. Ikiara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to support this allocation to the National Police Service and say, Honorable Speaker, I just pray that all gender desks in the police stations will be fully funded and operational now that we have a lot of rising cases against gender. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Christopher Aseka.
Thank you, Speaker. I also rise to support this allocation and say that even as our police officers are going to Haiti, they should be well catered for in that mission. Thank you.
Honorable Beatrice Kemei from Kericho.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I support and I say that it is important for the police service to have their part being taken care of. Most of them don't have good houses, they don't have vehicles and all that. I pray that the police stations will also be good. Thank you.
Member for Kwanza.
Madam Chair, I support this, but I think we should do much more than this to be able to at least improve on the communication. This is a very, very important sector, and we need to have them at least have be able to be mobile. There are those that are looking after security of this country, and therefore I think we need to do something about buying the nav vehicles to be able to have them deal with the insecurities in our country. And therefore I think we should maybe get some little more money to allocate for the same. Thank you.
Allow me to put the question that the program under the vote 1025 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 110,552,072,775 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. We shall, for the convenience of the House, Standing Order 133, 133.10, and I will read, the consideration of any part or a clause of a bill may be postponed until such later stage of the proceedings in the committee on such bill as the committee may determine. We shall come back to vote 1026 For now, we will continue from the order paper to vote 1032.
Vote 1032, State Department for Devolution.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 4,242,428,367 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1032, State Department for Devolution.
Program under vote 1032.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1032 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Nyikal.
Chair, while I support the funds that have been allocated to this department, Madam Speaker, I'm not quite clear what really this State Department does on a day-to-day basis. We know that the process of devolution is actually beset with very many challenges. Even the coordination mechanisms, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, the Council of Governors Secretariat, the harmonization between policies at the national government and implementation at the county is problems that we are facing. So I would call upon the departmental committee that is in charge of implementation of the Constitution, and I believe we have that, to actually follow up on this and even let us know what exactly this department does. Otherwise, I support, Madam Speaker.
Member for Tinderet, Honorable Meli.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I stand to support the vote on devolution, as this vote is going to promote and enhance the issue of decentralizing administration out of Nairobi and ensuring that, as per the Constitution, what is mandated for the counties and the national government is well spelled out, and the functions are actually undertaken. I support, Madam Chair.
Before I give the next speaker, allow me to recognize in the Speaker's Gallery Mount Kenya Academy from Nyeri Town, Nyeri County, who are in the Speaker's Gallery. On my own behalf and the House, let us welcome them to the House to observe the proceedings. Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, Honorable Chair, I want to agree with my colleagues, that is Dr. Nyikal and Honorable Meli, that this department is supposed to be very active in terms of managing issues relating to intergovernmental relations. But we are realizing it's very dormant. I think what members are saying, now that we are giving them about 4 billion, almost 4 billion, Honorable Chair, they should improve their feasibility in terms of what they do, so that members don't stop asking, what do they do? It is important we see what they are doing, and the Kenyans appreciate what they are doing. I support Honorable Chair.
Member for Kiharu, Honorable Dende Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, this department is very important. As members are aware, in the Division of Revenue Bill, we had a whopping 400.1 billion Kenya shillings going to our counties as equitable share. We also have conditional grants to a tune of 42 billion. There are organs that coordinate devolution, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, because even if we are devolving these funds, governments work in a manner that is complementary, and therefore it needs to have a bridge and a platform for both levels of counties to engage. An organ like IGTRC, which is currently unbundling some of the services and functions that are already left with the national government and they need to be devolved, is also domiciled in the same department. It is important, and especially at this particular time, as devolution matures, and then ultimately we are able to devolve all the functions, possibly by then we can have that discussion.
Member for Kandui, Honorable John Makali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. While I support this allocation, we need to ensure that we strengthen devolution by ensuring that almost all those functions that are devolved under Schedule 4 are sent to the counties so they can be able to strengthen devolution. I support the allocation, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Salasia. You're not aware you've put intervention, no? Okay, allow me then to put the question that the programs approved, the programs under the vote 1032 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 4,242,428,367 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1032. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1036.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 12,540,387,586 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1036, State Department for ASALs and Regional Development.
Programs under vote 1036. Accelerated ASAL Development, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Integrated Regional Development.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1036, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. Honorable Jackson Kosgei, are you intending to speak on this? You have the floor. Honorable Kosgei Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Arid and semi-arid lands and regions covers a huge landmass in our country, up to 80%. It is not true that this is only an area which is dry. But underneath, we have a lot of wealth, natural resources. Maybe it would be necessary in future to add more resources for mapping into finding potentials in these areas that can even fund the development of this country, oil, minerals, and others. So I think funding it for mostly recurrent, maybe some little support for other administrative is not enough. We need to exploit the potentials of this area. Otherwise, I support, Madam Chair.
Member for Kitutu Church and North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also support the ASALs and the RDAs. And my question goes to the RDAs. Despite the RDAs being in existence, most of them have employees, but they get little money. I support the RDAs to get more money so that they can be able to offer more services. And this ASAL thing has been able to support, especially these during floods, this time of floods. They've done a very commendable job. So I also want to support.
Allow me to put the question that the programs under vote 1036 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 12,540,387,586 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1036. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1041.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 173,86,817,170 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1041, Ministry of Defense.
Programs under vote 1041, Defense, Civil Aid, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, National Space Management.
No amendments. I propose the question that the programs under vote 1041 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Amboka.
First, I want to congratulate the committee under the able leadership of the chairman, who is my friend, Ndindi Nyoro, for the good work they have done up to now. But I just want to note that, yes, we are allocating money to defense, but they should be prudent enough as a State Department to be fair to every region and every constituency, even when they are doing recruitment. We are really concerned because in some instances you find that KDF are picking some people who are not even known in those constituencies, Madam Chair. So we support them, yes, and let them also invest in new aircraft. We don't want to be depending on the old aircraft that are donated to this country that are causing deaths to our people. Very many aircraft have zinaanguka tu. Yeah, because, and they are killing people, including the highest people in the
Honorable Amboka, follow the standing orders. Don't mix languages.
So we support, noted, Madam Chair, we support them, but we encourage them to have new equipment, we encourage them to have new aircraft, and we encourage them to be fair during recruitments. I support.
Honorable Nikao.
Chair, I support this. Now, there's this program, National Space Management, and really it hasn't got much money. What I wonder is, how much really are we involved? Space is the in thing. It is for defense, it is communication, it is space exploration. That's where actually the world is moving. And if you have so little money on it, are really they doing any research? Are they linked even with the station we have at the coast? Because it just appears to me that with this kind of money, they really will not be at the level we require to be as a country in terms of defense, communication, and the future in space. So I support, but I think they need to get more and do more. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Didmas Barasa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to really support allocation of this money, but I would want to beseech the military because their hospitals are very good in trauma management. I would want to encourage the military to open a wing that they can use it as a referral hospital for civilians because they are very good in trauma management, so they should be able to open doors to be able to attend to very few cases of Kenyans who require these services. Honorable Madam Chair, I support.
Allow me to put the question that the programs under vote 1041 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 173,86,817,170 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1041, Ministry of Defense. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1053, State Department for Foreign Affairs.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 23,97,447,602 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1053.
Programs under vote 1053, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, foreign relation and diplomacy, economic and commercial diplomacy, foreign policy research, capacity development, and technical cooperation.
No amendments. I propose the question that the programs under vote 1053 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Pukose.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this, that our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, under the able leadership of Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, I think needs a lot of support, especially in relation to campaigning for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to be the AU chairman. And I think we need to give them a lot of support so that we can be able to secure that position for the chair. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, I really want to support this particular vote. And one of the reasons why is because I've seen under the programs, there's an indication of foreign relations and diplomacy. And because as Azimio, we are donating the #1 ambassador, the Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, this is very important because it is going to give them the ability to support his candidature for the AU chairperson position. So I support this with all the organs of my life. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sotik, Honorable Francis Igay.
Madam Chair, while I arise to support this vote, I would like to mention the state of the missions outside this country. Madam Chair, recently I had a privilege to visit one of the missions outside this country. And Madam Chair, they are in pathetic situation. And even the staff who are working there are not paid on time. And the Chair, this is a serious issue which we must discuss as a National Assembly. Because if there are our marketers out there and they don't get money on time, the mission, the offices, their residences are in pathetic situation, then we are failing, Madam Chair. I support this.
Honorable Salasi, are you ready to say something?
Yes. Honorable
members, seeing you means your card. I can see your card. Relax. Honorable Salasia.
Madam Speaker, I stand to support the 23 billion to go for the Ministry of Affairs. The reason being that now the country is developing on increasing its network and ensuring that even we get the AU seat, which is going to be very critical to this country in terms of ensuring that we get development from the different partners. So I stand and also to ask that this money should be well utilized in order that we see the need for it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Junet.
Madam Chair, I want to echo what the Member for Parliament for Sotika said. Madam Chair, when you go out of the country, and most of us as MPs travel most of the time, Madam Speaker, our foreign embassies are in a very dire state. Some of them don't have any money. Their offices are dilapidated. They have not been paid money for quite some time. And 23 billion is not enough for that department, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the supplementary budget, I want to urge the chairman of the Budget Committee to look into this matter critically and allocate this State Department more money. If there's a State Department that is suffering, it's this one. Having said that, Madam Chair, in conclusion, the AU thing, we have our own money. We don't need government money. We have our own money. ODM has money. These people of ours have money. Don't bother about it. Give this money to these people who are suffering in the embassies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Kiharu.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I agree it's a very critical department. Just to bring members to speed, in supplementary 2, there was actually an increment. in this department. However, also, Honorable Chair, I fully support my senior Honorable Junet that if it pleases him, he can bring an amendment. We get some money from the fund he has suggested, and I'll be the seconder so that we top up on this department, Honorable Chair.
Allow me to put the question that the programs under vote 1053 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. And I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 23,097,447,602 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1053. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1054, State Department for Diaspora Affairs.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 828,143,693 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1054, State Department for Diaspora Affairs.
Program under vote 1054, Management of Diaspora and Consular Affairs.
There being no amendment, I propose the question that the program under vote 1054 is read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Sunkuli.
Madam Chair, as a former ambassador, I would have preferred to say something on the foreign service budget, but on this particular, Madam Chair, we support. The government needs to set up more consular stations, more, especially in countries like China. We have for a long time needed a consulate in Guangzhou and in other far-reaching areas. This is very, very important. And if this can be also relevant to the other vote you have just passed, as a matter of commenting, one of the places we are failing in our foreign service is that we are sending diplomats to countries where they don't even know the language. An American ambassador or a British ambassador can never be sent to China unless they know Chinese. So I hope that the Foreign Service Institute can prepare our diplomats a bit better. And I hope that they can be able to save money because now the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is being run by one minister who is also having another budget in the cabinet affairs. So I hope they can save some money from that and use it for training our civil servants.
Honorable Adan Keinan. Use the next one, Honorable Member for Aldai.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in any civilized democracy, is the interface, in our context, the interface between Kenya and the outside world. Madam Speaker, proudly, this diaspora desk, or this diaspora ministry, which has evolved from a diaspora desk, from a diaspora directorate, and now a diaspora department, in 2009, when the then Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations brought a recommendation to have a diaspora department, it's like everybody was shocked. Today, everybody appreciates the contribution of this department. Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, what I want to urge my colleagues, and in fact, the able chair of the Budget Committee, if really we want to make a meaningful gain out of our economic diplomacy, the least we can do is to appreciate the existence of this department. This is number one ministry, actually number two ministry after the presidency. This Ministry of Foreign Affairs must be funded adequately so that our missions who represent the president, that's why they fly our flags. And I'm glad that some of the former ambassadors are here. When they are outside there, they can proudly project, promote, and protect the image of this very important country called Kenya. We send them outside, we don't fund them, they become paupers. And remember, Mr. Chairman and the other colleagues, there are countries who survive on donor contributions in managing their mission affairs. Kenya is not in that league. Kenya is a donor nation. Kenya is a very proud nation. And therefore, we should be the first to fund our representatives wherever they are. That is the only way we can proudly say we are number one members of
you have made your
the
point.
civilized nation. I support this, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you, Honorable Member. I will put the question that the program under the vote 1054, Diaspora, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. And I now put the question, there are some not exceeding 28,143,693 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1054. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1064, State Department for Technical, Vocational Education and Training.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 30,688,638,919 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1064.
Programs under the vote: Technical, Vocational Education and Training, Youth Training and Development, General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1064, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. Honorable Member for Quisero, Honorable Christopher Seka.
Thank you, Chair. As I support this allocation, I want the ministry to move with speed to ensure that the 70 technical and vocational colleges that were constructed are equipped and are up and running. Two is to ensure that the recruitment of tutors who are supposed to work in these institutions are recruited. And I want to propose that the recruitment of these tutors should be moved from the Public Service Commission to TSC, because the process of recruiting these teachers under PSC is taking too long. Thank you.
Member for Tongaren.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support and want to comment that technical training is critical to the future of this country. Yet technical training education has two major problems. One is inadequate infrastructure in those training centers. And two, inadequate trainers in those centers. In 2018, a regulation was passed that every constituency must have a technical training center. Up to now, some of the constituencies do not have. Secondly, I propose that the government sets up an institution called the Technical Training Commission, which should be equivalent to the Teachers Service Commission. But in this case, this should only be able to focus on the needs of technical training needs. Thank you, I support.
We keep it short. Honorable Member for Thika Town. Honorable Alice Nganga.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I also arise to support, but I also want to state that I think this amount of money is not enough, because like my constituency, we were given one TVET. Until now, money has not been released so that we cannot start even the construction of work. And if you have seen, we have a lot of innovation and creativity from our young men and women, and without this money being released, then we cannot be able to empower them. So as much as we are giving them this money, amount of money, we need to know how many TVETs are being constructed in every financial year to make sure that if at all they are assigned the money for us, the votes, rather than we say that we have 70 constituencies that have been funded and yet they have not been given the money. Thank you.
Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I just wanted to say that a number of these TTS are different levels in terms of implementation. It's important that we make them operational by even equipping them once they are completed. I support.
Chair, Education Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, TVET is the key to youth unemployment in this country. The amount of money actually given to this department is not quite enough, noting that we have capitation issues. We have to construct TTIs and equip in every constituency. And on that note, Madam Chair, I want to say that as much as you have allocated 30 billion, there is still need a lot to allocate this department so that this is the department that is going to turn around the youth in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge, and in terms of even exporting labor to foreign countries. I rise and I support.
No amendment. I therefore put the question that the programs under the vote 1064, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 30,688,638,919 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1064. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1065, State Department for Higher Education and Research.
I propose a question that a sum not exceeding 127,986,194,444 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1065, the State Department for Higher Education and Research.
Programs under the vote: University Education, Research, Science, Technology and Innovation, General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1065, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. Honorable Junet.
Chair, I want the chair of the education and budget to listen to me through you. Madam Chair, this money is not enough. And you saw the other day the confusion that has been created in the admission of universities, students, Madam Chair, where the poor, the rich, the empty-handed, all of them were supposed to pay the same equal fees. Parents could not afford. Parents don't have money. Some of them resorted to selling their goats and their cows and their camels and everything. Madam Chair, this is a State Department that requires more funding. We need to put our money where our mouth is, Madam Chair. So, Madam Chair, that university model, I don't know who brought it to this country, of admissions cannot work. So the Chair of Budget must relook into this and see if this State Department can get more money if our children are to go to university properly. In the Azimio time, we promised free education from primary to university, but we did not get the chance to do it. For those who are there, please provide money now. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Oundo.
Chair, I really want to urge the department that we and the entire committee of BAC that we need to look for more resources. The chaos being experienced by admission to universities is really heart-rendering. The many cases, even here as I am here, Chair, I have received a request to pay 161,000 for students from Funyula constituency who are undertaking medicine because the funding structure cannot afford to pay for her. And the parents are mere teachers. I do not know where they are going to raise 161,000 between now and Tuesday next week when exams start. We need to streamline this process, otherwise we go back to the old system where everybody knew how much to be paid and with that certainty. With that few remarks, I support, but we need more resources.
Honorable Mushomba.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I followed parliamentary committee proceeding, the committee in charge of education of this House, and I picked from that discussions that were there in that about 45,000 children, or rather learners, who have been admitted in the national universities have not been able to afford to report to the universities. And therefore, these are the many children or learners that are going to revert into TVET institutions. And therefore, we expect that the volume and the numbers of the learners that are going to flock TVETs are going to be overwhelming. And therefore, I would appeal to the chairperson in charge of BSc committee to consider adding more money to TVET so that we can be able to accommodate that very, very serious numbers that we are expecting. Thank you.
Honorable Dende Nyoro.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. And I agree with the sentiments from all the members. Yes, we need money for TVET. and for the entire sector of education. However, Honorable Junet and Honorable Gathoni wa Mushomba, we have a decision to make as a House. Currently, the education sector is the #1 department that we have allocated most of the money. 27% of the entire national government expenditure is going to the education sector. So I want to assure the members that yes, we agree the current modern economic models that will propel economic growth are all based on education and technology. And that is precisely what we are doing. If you compare the money for TVET in the previous years as now, you'll see it's an upward trend. And I want also to assure them close to 700 billion Kenya shillings in this current budget is going to the education sector.
Allow me to put the question that the programs under the vote 1065 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 127,986,194,444 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1065. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1066, State Department for Basic Education.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 142,263,122,192 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1066, the State Department for Basic Education.
Programs under the vote: primary education, secondary education, quality assurance and standards, general administration, planning and support services.
No amendments. I propose the question that the programs under vote 1066 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Member for Kasipul, Kabondo Kasipul, Honorable Ivo Bara.
Thank you very much, Chair. I support the budget, but going forward, I would urge this House, Madam Chair, to consider a policy that we had in place called Edu-Afya. Madam Chair, we are soon going to run into a crisis when our children fall sick in school, because previously they were taken straight because they had the cover, and then the parent would be called. But now, that cover is not there. So when a child falls sick in school, the principal is expected to get money from his pocket and take the child to school and then look for the parent. Can you imagine a situation where there is no money to take that child to school before the parent is able to get to school? So, Chair, Finance, and my Chair, this is a matter we have discussed, but the House can look at it as a policy so that it gets back and the money is taken back to take care of our children while they are in school. Thank you very much. I support.
Member for Kwanza.
Madam Chair, I think we should do something on this as well. I would agree this is money that we've got students who are very bright.
Members, those intending to speak, kindly use the intervention button. Continue, Member for Kwanza.
Yeah, they should not disrupt me. I'm the ranking member here. So I think we should be able to look for funds. And I want to talk to my brother here in charge of the finance so they can be able to see this in basic education. And when you offer that, you should also have some supplementary fee for those who want to do advanced education masters. That is not provided anywhere. Even, you see, you can't use bursaries to do that because we're not allowed. There was no money for students who are actually going for masters. And therefore, I think you should have some little funds for that because those are people who actually be able to bring this country, to push this country forward for developmental sake for the future. So we should have some funds apart from this.
Honorable Member for Kiamba.
Thank you, Chair. I support and I really want to call upon the ministry to make sure that the 142 billion shillings that has been released to primary schools, that they make sure that this capitation gets to the children on time and to the headmasters on time, so that we can be able to make sure that we support our children as much as possible. Thank you, Madam Chair. I support.
Honorable Nyenze.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. I support, but this capitation, I mean, especially this money for the primary schools on capitation does not reach the schools in time, and we are always having problems. So it's one thing to have the money in the budget, and another thing for the money to be in the pockets of in the schools. So let the ministry ensure that the money is in the schools in time. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sigowet Soin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I support Madam Chair, I want to bring to the attention of the Chairman of the Education Committee, and indeed the Ministry of Basic Education, that there are close to 50 PhD holders teaching in primary schools. I'm not saying this is wrong, but surely, Chair, these people who hold PhD teaching in primary schools, something should be done so that they can be taken to teach in secondary schools and possibly even in our universities. Thank you, Madam Chair. I support.
Didimas, keep it short.
Chair, even as I support this, I want to say this, that an area where the Ministry of Education, Basic Education has failed is to ensure that the government's effort to offer free day secondary education and the primary education is being impeded by a few head teachers who increase fees levies that even more than what the parents were paying previously before. So even as we release this money, Honorable Chair, Madam Chair, we should ensure that the ministry officials ensure that free day secondary school remains free. Those who will not have paid lunch fees, lunch levies, they can go and eat at home. Or they can eat what the Honorable Mohammed calls Madondo. They can eat Madondo and continue to learn. I support the Honorable Chair.
Honorable Atandi.
Chair, I want to support these appropriations to Ministry of Basic Education. Madam Chair, as I support, let me agree with my brother, the MP for Honorable Baraza, Didmas Baraza. Madam Chair, day secondary school is free, but it is not free because principals have devised a tendency where they charge school fees for meals. And Madam Chair, you find that a day school is charging 15,000 shillings for meals. This is something which is unrealistic. So I think the Education Ministry needs to take up this matter and tell principals that you cannot even charge. If they don't have school fee, let them carry their own food. Because in day school, they carry their own food to school. Why are they not allowed to carry their meals to secondary school, yet they are still going back in the evening to eat the same food at home? So, Madam Chair, this is very important, and I think I've already spoken to the Chair, though he didn't give me a conclusive answer, but he needs to take it up seriously.
Honorable Junet. 1
Chair,
minute.
Yeah, Chair, 1 minute. Chair, I think we should not pass money just on paper. Chair, this issue of capitation has been a big problem for schools, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, there are schools that we are basically 20 days to the end of the financial year, and there are schools that are receiving capitation as late as this month. Chair, if we are going to pass this budget as early as now, and schools end up receiving their money at the end of the financial year, how are they supposed to survive, Madam Chair? Madam Chair, if this issue of timely disbursement of capitation is not addressed, we are not going to have quality education in our constituencies. That is number one. Number two, Madam Chair, equitable share of infrastructure funds that is in this budget must be brought clearly to this Parliament. How we are going to share equitably the development of schools and infrastructure in every constituency. If that's not addressed also, we are wasting our time here as members of Parliament.
I will put the question that the programs under Vote 1066, as read and sums are located in the schedule, be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding. We shall not work like that, honorable members. We have already proposed and put the question. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 142,263,122,192 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1066. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1071, the National Treasury.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 146,072,137,600 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1071.
Programs under the vote: General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Public Financial Management, Economic and Financial Policy Formulation and Management, and Market Competition.
No amendments. I propose the question that the programs under vote 1071 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Member for Mandera North? Not on this. I put the question that the programs under the vote 1071, the National Treasury, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question, there are some not exceeding Kenya shillings 146,072,137,600 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1071. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1072, State Department for Economic Planning.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 66,782,133,355 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1072.
Programs under vote 1072, Public Service Transformation, Monitoring and Evaluation Services, Economic Policy and National Planning, National Statistical Information Services, and General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1072 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I therefore put the question that the programs under vote 1072 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question. There are some not exceeding 66,782,133,355 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1072. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1082, State Department for Medical Services.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding 102,983,407,719 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1082, the State Department for Medical Services.
Programs under the vote: National Referral and Specialized Services, Curative and Reproductive Maternal, Newborn, Child, Adolescent Health, Health Research and Innovations, General Administration.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1082 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Honorable Junet, what is out of order? Yeah, that's not a point.
Thank you very much. I don't understand, or I don't want to believe that health is devolved. Chair, if we are giving Ministry of Medical Services 102 billion and Ministry of Public Service 28 billion, a total of 160 billion, and we are claiming here as a country that health is a devolved function, why is this money being kept in Nairobi to do what? When you know that health is a devolved function, 30 billion shillings is enough to run the Ministry of Medical Services, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, if this is money for the big men and women of Nairobi, then let us just agree that Parliament is passing this money for the big boys. Otherwise, why should we keep 160 billion shillings in Nairobi when the function is devolved constitutionally in the Constitution, fully devolved? That's why doctors are striking, medical people are striking, clinical people are striking, because we are misdirecting their money to something else. Madam Chair, let us reduce this budget to 20 or 30 billion and devolve this money to the counties. People who need services, medical services, are in the counties. They're not in Nairobi. Why do you want to have Afia House to have 140 billion when a county like Kiambu and Muranga are only having 2 billion for health services, Madam Chair?
Thank you.
We cannot.
Member for Mandera North.
Chair, thank you very much. Chair, when I look at the sum allocated for State Department for Medical Services, it is 102 billion. We all know health is devolved. The last time the Ministry of Health has done infrastructure developments or something in the counties, I don't even remember it, so before devolution. So why will this money be at the headquarters when we know that health services are also devolved? Is there also issues or certain aspects whereby this money will help each constituency in terms of health facilities? If that is the case, we will have no problem, but there are no provisions for that. And I'm sure Chair Health is sitting here and he understands. We do not have any money allocated or helping us in the constituencies for health services from the Ministry of Health.
Okay, thank you.
All the constituency require is they get the money from the county governments. So we need also this money to go down to all the constituencies. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Thika. If you're not on this, kindly remove from the intervention so that we can give members a chance.
I'm not for this. Let me remove the intervention. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Mogotio.
Thank you, Chair. And before that, I must put into record that I'm a member of the Health Committee, and I'm a part of those who sat for this budget for the Health Committee, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, it is fair to let Junet Mohammed know that Kemri is part of this budget, and the Kemri sits in national government. KEMSA, which get drugs to give to this county, sits in national government. KUTRH, Kenyatta Hospital, Moi Riverol, and Chief and the Shah sit in national government. Before he start, these professional bodies dealing with the elderly, including the KMPDU and the rest, sit in national government. So before my brother Junet say it should be reduced to 30 billion or so, he should ask himself, where does this money go? And where does this money go in terms of services? If you talk about KUTRH and
Honorable Farah.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, we have a problem in this country. We are complaining about money being wasted through corruption at the center. The little that we have taken to the periphery is also being misused in a manner you cannot imagine. I remember when the fellow who's sitting next to me, Professor Nyikal, was the Director of Medical Services here. And we are much, much better off. Can we have kind of a middle ground in which the only way we can stop this wastage is not to choose between two ills or two evils, but to create a national health management service or commission, whatever. A national health commission, which is going to take care of, like the UK. UK has got what you call the National Health Services. So let's have that independent body, which is run by professionals, people in the field of medicine itself, who will be able to, a doctor has got a Hippocratic oath, and worries about saving lives. It doesn't matter what part of the world he comes from. He could come from the most capitalist, most things, but at the same time, he will take care of this. So let us change this. Let us not choose between two evils. We have a serious problem in provision of health services at the county levels today. And the only way we can do it is that we get away from the center,
but we also create this national, what they call health commission that's going to take care of.
Thank you. Member Honorable Dan Mwashako.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I stand to support this, but as I do, Honorable Chair, I want to agree that this country, we must honestly make a decision when it comes to whether how much money should remain in the center and how much needs to go to the devolved counties, so that, Chair, we can offer the best services to our people. But Chair, having said this, I want also to say that the number of referral hospitals in this country are too few. We may need to only have Kenyatta National Hospital, you have KU and have Moi, and you have Madare for the Madare. But I think we need to have more hospitals, one in the coast region, one in north and eastern, so that, Chair, our people can continue to get these services, specialized services when required. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, while we support, I think for us as women, my question will just be, as we increase this, we've removed Linda Mama, yes. Is it part of the seed money for SHIFT that will now assist the women to go back in the program they had? And is it possible through the same program to bring in now our children, because we don't have EDU, so that they can also get into SHIFT that will assist them when they are sick in school, Madam Speaker. And also on the issue of a maternal newborn child and adolescents. You see, when we bulk adolescents, and we are not even saying how the ministry is going to help these adolescents, also it leaves it so vague. The problem is not the figure. The problem, Madam Chair, is how the services have been now coded. And so everyone is left wondering which code is going to shift, how much is the seed money. If that was there, I don't think any Kenyan will have an issue with this, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Jamatia.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I also want to add my voice on this, that the money that we have allocated to medical services is quite a lot of money, considering that most of the services, as most members have said, is actually deteriorating in our hospitals, health centers, and specifically the programs like Linda Mama, which was actually affected so much because of the change of programs. And as much as I understand, these monies is always appropriated depending on the needs. And the national bodies like the referrals, as much as they need the money, we should also consider the lowest pyramid where most of this money should be going. I think as much as we are discussing this, the need is more dire in the ground or in the low levels than in the national levels, because these are institutions that are always getting money all the time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair, Health Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, when you read the fourth schedule of our Constitution, the Constitution gives the national government all national referral facilities. It also gives policy. And when you look at this budget takes care of all the referral facilities. Among them, Madare, which is a special mental hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, Spinal Hospital, and then we talk of other institutions like National Cancer Institute, we talk of Kenya Medical Research, KEMRI, and then we talk of KEMSA. All that budget is here. So when members refer to it that the health has been devolved, I think it is not, you are not referring to the Constitution, because the Constitution clearly defines. And this money which has been allocated as 102 is actually inadequate to provide adequate services within those institutions. Honorable Speaker, I've seen the concerns raised by the members. Among them is the issue about Linda Mama. Linda Mama is actually taken care of in this. Recently, we also had issues about vaccines in the country that have not been paid. we've not paid our counterpart funding, which is normally quarterly about 2.5 billion. That money has also been factored in this. This has also taken care of provision of vaccines within the country, and these are normally centrally procured for all the country, because this is donor-funded programs. You also have other programs like HIV/AIDS, drugs, and many other programs that are centrally organized through this budget. So the budget is actually inadequate for us to meet those demands. With those few remarks, Honorable Chair, I want to support.
Thank you. I will now put the question that the programs under the vote 1082 be, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding 102,983,407,719 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect to vote 1082. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1083, State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 28,037,735,123 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1083.
Programs under vote 1083, Preventive and Promotive Health Services, Health Resource Development and Innovation, Health Policies, Standards and Regulations, and General Administration.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1083 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question that the programs under the vote 1083 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I now put the question that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 28,37,735,123 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1083. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1091, State Department for Roads.
I propose the question that a sum not exceeding 51,631,203,200. I beg your pardon. I put the question that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 51,631,203,728 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1091. I beg your pardon, members, that typo is on mine. We'll go with the order paper. I propose the question that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 199,361,988,075 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1091.
Programs under the vote, road transport, general administration, planning and support services, rail transport, marine transport, air transport, and road safety.
I propose the question that the programs under vote 1091 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I see some interest, member for Garissa Township.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair. May I bring to your attention on the issue of, I think there's a mix-up on transport and road functions here. 1091 is for roads, but when you read, when the the clerk read about the functions of this 199 billion. He was talking about rail transport, marine transport, and so there's a mix-up there. And in supporting 1091, Madam Speaker,
What are you saying on Abudeko?
That when the clerk was reading on the functions for this money, or
The
where
programs.
the expenditure for this money will be, he was talking about rail transport, marine transport, and I think that should come under State Department of Transport. Maybe now we need to change that mix-up. Now,
Yeah, on Abudeko, give us a minute. Okay. Because what you're saying is that the vote is the State Department for Roads. Yes?
The one we are on is on roads 1091.
Yes.
But
allow us to take it again.
Yes, please.
Then we'll give you the opportunity.
Is the one for transport the same as for the roads? Is the one on transport the same as the roads, the functions?
1091, and the programs under 1091 is road, general administration, rail, marine, air.
This is what it was right. Medium.
He's reading for transport. You know you missed the 1091.
Road.
You're mixing.
General administration, rail, marine, air, and road. Honorable Deco and honorable members, the vote is 1091, State Department for Roads, whose programs are... Yes, it's 1091. Road transport, general administration, rail transport, marine transport, air transport, and road safety.
That is 1092. Then for 1092.
You see, this is a...
Program, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's a confusion from us.
What she's reading for the function is for transport. Instead of reading what is for the road.
Chair, 1091
The one that has
Then 1092 has 4 programs.
They are already.
Yeah.
But the amount is taken.
These others are under transport, that is general admin, rail, We are back, honorable members. Sorry for the confusion. The vote 1091 has only one program. So we'll take it again. It only has one program. The others are under 1092. So we'll take 1091 again. Yes.
Vote 1091, State Department for Roads.
I propose the question. There are some not exceeding Kenya shillings 199,361,988,075 Kenya shillings be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2025 in respect of vote 1091.
Program under the vote, road transport.
I propose the question that the program under vote 1091 as read out and sums allocated be approved. And I'll give Major Deco the first chance because you're on the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While I support the vote 1091 for State Department of Roads, Madam Speaker, we have a serious problem in this country where contractors have been given contracts to do roads infrastructure, but they're never paid. Some of the contractors have pending bills of almost 5-6 years ago. So while supporting this, we hope that the Department of Roads, Road Department, must take into consideration on how to clear these pending bills. some of these contractors are in a very difficult situation where even their own houses are being sold because of the security they have put in this, for these funds. So on that, I support. Thank you.
Honorable Junet.
Chair, we have to agree on one thing as a House. The Chair, this is the second, it's almost 2 years now since we have passed budgets in this regime. And Chair, there is no single road that is complete. Not one single road that is complete that can be handed over to the people of Kenya. This is an embarrassment, Madam Chair. Secondly, Madam Chair, the worst thing that happens in this State Department is that we are passing here now 199 billion shillings. When the first supplementary budget arrives here, there will be a reduction of 25 billion shillings from this ministry for strange reasons. Why do you reduce? You remember, Chair, last year I reminded you, why are we removing 18 billion shillings from Transport Ministry? I mean, Roads Department. I said it here on the floor of the House. Madam Chair, let us not pass here money on paper. If we know that we are not going to deliver any roads, let us even give them 25 billion shillings wafanye kiraka kiraka for those things that you are spoiled by the rains and by the heavy things. No single road is complete. In my constituency, there's a road that is going on now for 3 years. I thought under the new, when freedom arrived, I thought it would be completed. Madam Chair, let us be serious. If there is no work that is going to be done, let us not just pass money for the sake of passing. Let us reduce our budget to 2 trillion. Thank you.
Madam Honorable Member for Kiminini, Honorable Bissau Kaikai.
Madam Chair, let me. Can I talk? The mic is here. The mic.
So try from here.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity. As much as we are here discussing the issue of the budget, it will be important to point out that in my own constituency, there is no single national project. And again, for roads. So if we are sitting here and we continue seeing the unfairness that is being perpetuated across the country, whereby projects are skewed and taken just to specific locations, we would want to say that as we move forward, let's ensure that there is fairness. So that, I mean, the country belongs to all of
Thank you, Madam Chair. While I support this allocation, I would like to echo the sentiments of a number of members of Parliament who've stated that there is skewed allocation, especially on matters to do